Previously on Journey to the Juvenile.
So this 3-year-old I bought, her registered name is Flashy Doe. You know what I love so much about her is that she wants to turn. I wish she wanted to turn the other way. We have no idea what's to come. Imagine having to get on a bicycle and teach a bicycle that it was a bicycle. That you push the pedals and that means to go forward. And then you pull the handles and it's supposed to go left and right. And it failed. Let's try again. And we'll just chip away at that until November. In my mind, this may be one to save for 5-year-old futurities. I mean, we'll see what happens in November, but that's my thought right now. Just sell them all. Just get them all gone. Woo! Stop! Stop! Shut up! Got us the juvenile pony.
A three-year-old first-time run has just run the fastest time thus far.
In the vast expanse of America's heartland, where dreams are forged and champions are made, a group of horse trainers and jockeys embark on a quest that tests their training abilities and challenges the limits of equine greatness. Every stride, every turn, every heart-stopping moment is a testament to the bond forged between horse and human. Through countless hours of patient guidance and tireless devotion, they nurture trust, instill confidence, and unlock the untapped potential within these young equine prodigies. Witness the years of breeding, preparation, and the culmination of a journey to etch their names into barrel racing history at these horses' first competition ever. This is Journey to the Juvenile. In this series, Fallon embarks on a grueling training schedule. 4 young and spirited 3-year-old horses await her guiding hand. But before the competition, a crucial decision awaits. Fallon must carefully select only one horse to step into the arena by October 1st. This chosen colt, untouched by competition, bears the weight of anticipation and dreams. Witness the rise of the fastest horse as it charges towards triumph, carrying the dreams of its trainer and the spirit of a champion.
This is the most anticipated episode of Journey to the Juvenile yet. And of course it is, because for those of you guys that follow me on all forms of social media, you know that this has been anything but smooth. We have 20 days to name a colt. And we just keep going out of town as if these things are trained and ready. Thing's badass. And then you know what happens tomorrow when this roller coaster is that tomorrow goes to shit in a handbasket. Okay, I quit until tomorrow. I quit until tomorrow. 14 days. 14 days. Fuck. Okay. We need some Buscopan and some Banamine. It's fine, I'm fine, we're fine, everything's fine. I have a really exceptional 3-year-old mare named Flashy Doe, and she is coming through training so beautifully. I cannot wait to show her at the BFA Super Stakes. You have to prepare a year out. You have to pay $5,000 to enter. It's limited entry, so not just anybody can enter. And it is a very, very tough race. And as a trainer, we're all trying to showcase our talent and show all of our hard work over the year. And there's so much anticipation for the scrutiny that we're all gonna have over each other's horses and how it's gonna look and how everybody trains their horse and will their horse come apart in the juvenile. And now's the time for me to start hauling this mare, to see what she does away from home, to see how it feels away from home. I made a lot of mistakes in preparing her for the BFA. I'm going to share those with you because I feel like I can save somebody else some mistakes in the future, and if I can save you some time, I'm going to. My first mistake was not going with my gut of which horse was going to be the horse in the beginning. So I dedicated a whole lot of time to Flow Mellow that otherwise would have been dedicated to Flashy Dough. Another mistake I made was I didn't take the time to get Flashy Dough super broke and focusing more on the barrel pattern than getting her foundation really, really great because I thought I was running out of time.
Okay, well, this feels awful. Back to the drawing board. It's like too much and it's too little and she's not broke enough for that leverage. Come in full dress code because we just came from the WPRA World Finals round 2 and the sun is setting and we don't have the time to take any time off. So I'm back in draw reins. I changed the bridle yesterday for a tuning session and I probably shouldn't have done that. But draw reins has always gotten me back to where she needs to be, which is just the sign that I skipped a step, and that is on me. I am, however, I want you guys to know, I am going to, after this run, that she's gonna make her first competition run, and it's only one run, I'm gonna send her for 60 days to work more on foundation, just because I believe it's just that important for the rest of her life. Because I plan on owning her for the rest of her life, so I want to be on something that's super enjoyable to ride forever.
Hey. Come here.
Beautiful. Ooh. Yeah. Nice.
16-2.
Good girl. We try again. You go a little slower to the first. We got 45 days. Hi, baby. 45 days for you to show me rocket fuel. Let's just cruise. A lot of pony. That's what I want. A little shaking, my boys. A little shaking, my boys. Okay. Just 60%. Whoa. That was great because it was terrible. And I went way slower to my first than the 16:0 time, which is fine. I should keep it there for a session or two. I like it. I like it, I like it. 14 days. 14 days. And then the clock starts over, which is great, because then we have 14 plus 45.
And the next thing is, my dad always tells me, and Poppy has so many Poppyisms, he always tells me, when you're headed to a rodeo or an event, prepare yourself for 2 blowouts. Not 1 blowout, but 2. And what he's saying is, don't prepare for 1 disaster, prepare for 2, because you never really know what's going to happen. And my disaster hit in the course of this time, and I did not prepare accordingly. So I had to make up a lot of time.
I had a strategy before I got here and it's gone out of my head because the nerves are kind of starting. Today we're gonna put boots on as another added level of like things and stuff.
Oh.
You know, Baby Flo had a mantra that was like, I would tell her every day, and I still to this day tell her she's the best in the world. And this mare, I've been telling her, I said, you're gonna make some dreams come true, aren't you? And Lolo's is show them what you're made of. So it's really funny to me that every one of these really special red mares has got like a little something that kind of goes through my mind when we're getting ready. Yeah. First set of splints and bells, I think. This mare just is unaffected though by stuff. Like this little change is not gonna care. I have 3 I'm gonna do, which is what I normally do. Slow, a little less slow, and then fast. And the little less slow has been like a nightmare because she's giving all the finished 1D horse vibes of like not wanting to go slow. Again, it's the reason that I wish she had 120 days with a cow horse guy and was like the most broke horse in the world. Scared to get on it.
Hauling away from home is a super, super integral part of finishing your horse because they need to see new environments and new places. And I'm not going to take Flashy Doe into the arena before the Juvenile Super Stakes. So I want to take her into some arenas and let her familiarize herself. So go slow, go in, see some things, walk the barrel pattern, trot the barrel pattern, lope the barrel pattern, whatever it is that I see fit, and then make a run and come out and let her have a break. So that has been my process for the last several weeks, is just taking her in, letting her go slow, then speeding her up, then backing her back down. And it has been really smooth. She's been really good. There's been some hit barrels, but it's really more about control and her understanding her environment. Not one time has she spooked at anything. And that's the coolest because Flo Mello, you know, is the complete opposite of that. So to have a filly want to go in and be strong and brave and really want to rock and roll is exciting, and it gives me a lot of confidence. Now, I would have more confidence if I had a little bit more control. It's like having a Ferrari engine where the brakes aren't so good. You feel a little apprehensive to just, you know, put the pedal to the metal. So that's where I'm at right now, is feeling just a touch apprehensive about how fast I can go.
I promise I'm more scared than you are, lady. Good job, Mama. Good job.
So I'm gonna start going in training and just do less of the slow work and more of, you know, just warming her up and then letting her cruise the barrel pattern at 67%, not giving her the opportunity to do the trot, the lope, the walk around, kind of taking those things away bit by bit so she can understand that she's going to have to walk into an arena, warm up, and then make a run with the big dogs.
I don't know that this is any less competition than like the road to the horse. Like, I get that the horse isn't broke, but like, have you ever been on a track broke 3-year-old and try to make it win 100 grand in a barrel race? I can't really say she's track broke though, because she's well beyond that. Hey. Ooh. It was really good, right? I'm gonna stop there because she just, anytime I can get that really pretty little breeze through with no fight, like she's just putting herself right where she's supposed to be. It's so effortless. I can always speed up. Just asking her to go a little faster. She's like, here. She's shaking all over for reference too. Can you see her?
Is the weather changing at all?
No. You see her?
Really close together.
After I stopped and started to kind of feel her tense up, I knew something was going really, really, really wrong. She started getting very tense. She started shaking all over. You could tell she was in pain. She was making a really throaty noise. Not a bleeder noise, but a thumping, very different noise. I immediately, because Cody and Alex and Brand were there, we immediately put our heads together, like, what's going on? Is she colicking? Is something happening?
I better not do anymore.
Yeah, you can see in her, like,
Do you see her shaking?
yeah.
What the f? This looks really tight right here. Do you see that? I hope she's not about to have an aneurysm. I think this thing's about to go down.
Take that saddle off.
Yep.
I stepped off immediately when I started to feel her like quivering underneath me and jerked the saddle off. And as soon as I pulled the saddle off, Flashy Doe went down.
Okay, we need some Buscopan and some Banamine. Banamine is probably in my kit. We might be out. You might have to run and get Buscopan from the other ranch co. She's going down. I need a halter over there if you can. Okay, and I've got syringes here. I need it fast.
Like a colic, like a classic colic, a horse that, or maybe even tying up, like that kind of thing, HYPP, PSSM, those kind of genetic disorders where a horse will do that. I didn't know what to do. And as I got her up, I told Cody to go get some Buscopan, to get some Banamine. She collapsed 5 more times down. Not a colic collapse, but like a true like collapse. And it was as if she was trying to work something out of her body. So it felt like she maybe had an impaction and she like worked it out of herself. I know that sounds really weird. So we called the vet clinic closest to us and rushed her in. And when I explained what had happened, the vet on staff that night said maybe it was a heart issue, that she was speculating that it was a heart issue, which you have to take very, very seriously, because a heart issue means there's no going forward. And are we going to save this horse? And because it feels like it was exercise induced since I was riding her, that leads to even a bigger issue, an issue where right away diagnosis is something very, very serious. And it feels like the heart is filling up with blood, and that this would be a horse. And I asked 4 times, is this horse, could she be sound enough to be a broodmare? Like, could this maybe not happen again? And it was too early on for me to ask those questions, but I had the Juvenile in my mind.
And here we are, threw our kid in fast so he doesn't even have shoes on. She's nibbling-ish, kind of. So we're in emergency. It's Saturday, so she just ran blood, and then we get the results back in 10 minutes. We're waiting for more staff to show up to help us, and she's still shaking.
Right? I mean, it's a valid question. I said, I want to do what's right by the horse, but a valid question is, she seems fine now. She collapsed. Is the collapse exercise induced? Is it something really small like that impaction? Is it tying up or something like that? Is it something that's going to prevent her from being a performance horse in the future? Or is this just some small, like, coincidence that just has really unfortunate timing. And so this is a letter from Cornell University. This is a letter from Weatherford Equine with all of the stats and all of the various testing that we ended up having to do on Flashy Doe.
So the unit is supposed to be in tomorrow afternoon. I'm gonna get her fitted for it as soon as it gets here.
Okay.
So I have it blocked out at around 4 o'clock just to fit her, just to make sure everything's functioning.
Okay.
And then I have it blocked out tentatively tomorrow morning to leave here around 10 a.m. Once we get over there, get her all suited up and everything, then it usually takes about an hour. Wow, so the first one, I think we're just going to lunge her in case something bad happens.
Sure.
And then we'll just have to wait until we get the report and make sure there's nothing wrong.
And then everything past that was an overreaction. And I'm totally fine with that because I want this mare to be healthy and I don't want to die on her back. So, but it was like, I don't know. It would be just really bizarre for me to have the one horse that has the thing since the first horse since 1999. Just feeling not probable. I know it's possible.
Right. Don't want to say, don't worry about it,
Right, because it's a big thing.
Send you off, and then the first falls and collapses and you break your neck and die on national TV or something.
I mean, what are the odds of me breaking my neck twice, though, I've already broken it once. Surely I can't do it again.
To answer all of your questions, it's not tying up. It is not a heart issue. It is not HYPP. It is not PSSM. It is not any of those things.
It wouldn't be wrong.
I am still team my horse had a really dramatic tummy ache. Or something. something bizarre. She's a good one, and I wouldn't be doing all this if she wasn't. So I'm grateful for you thinking outside of the box on this one.
No worries, happy to help. So we'll get her scoped, especially now that she's kind of post-exercise.
Perfect.
Make sure we don't see anything there, and I'll shoot you a text and let you know what that looks like.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye.
You.
He said I could pick her up today.
Do it.
He's like,
You can run with her?
You could pick her up today.
It seems like I'm team tummy ache. I'm team tummy ache that she had a little impaction, she threw herself down, she got the impaction out, she had a bowel movement, and she was fine, and I did too much. All in all, this was a very dramatic thing for several days, and we missed over a month of training. I low-key was like hoping it was something so that I wouldn't have to, at the end of the 4 weeks, go, okay, she's fine, now we gotta go to the BFA in 7 days, but here we are. I'm gonna take the next 7 days to train and train and train. I'm going to raise the limit a lot because I need to know if this horse is okay. I know that this horse is okay, but I need to know physically that she's okay. Genetically, she has nothing, so we're gonna run at the BFA in 7 days.
I've never been so happy to have a horse back. This has been so stressful. This has been dramatic. Yeah. So excited. It's large, and all the valves are very large, and it's on a scale of thoroughbred scale. So it's extra large for her. I mean, that's beautiful. Oh. Oh. Oh, I'm so happy. Man, this feels good. 4 diagnoses to be a broodmare, and here you are. Oh. Oh, this feels good. This feels good. I like it. Okay, I'm just gonna do a practice like nothing has ever happened. Trot a couple of times, breeze through a couple of times, remake the incident, right? How was the luxury staycation? Tell me all about it. Was it glorious and all that you wished for? You have all the shavings and feed and hay? Oh, that feels good. Oh, I missed you, lady. Okay. All right, now let's see what happens. And then I sat over here and I talked for a minute, and I asked her to back up. And I said, blah, blah, blah. It's a horse. It's a juvenile horse. Yeah, she was thumping. And this was a little faster than what I did. She was so good, right? Like, she's so good.
That first girl, that's exactly the speed you need, though. Like,
Yeah.
and then obviously
For the next,
Is she shaking at all?
no. For the next 8 days, I've got to practice that speed and have somebody, you tell me, like, that's the speed. Okay, no shaking. My plan here is 1 and done, tomorrow 1 and done, Thursday 1 and done, because now we have 8 days, so 7 days. I'm gonna do 3 practices with no, like, I'll do a light warm up and then make my, like, you know, that like 60-70% run that I've been making, because she's never been hauled and run one time. I was gonna be doing that for the last month. So she's never, you know, I'm just happy she's here. Okay, I'm just gonna go. The plan is to hit her with a 1 and done, away from home. She's been here like twice. So, all right. This time, 7 days from now, we're gonna be running down the alley at the Juvenile, assuming this keeps going our way. Assuming, you know, team tummy ache. Really just can't believe we're here right now.
true.
From last week. I've been train tracking this filly for so long, like she should know exactly where her feet go. I mean, it's so redundant. And even though she's getting her head up, I want that. I want her to feel me placing her feet tonight. And remember that she's got to have a little guidance from me, because she's going to be scared and nervous and see things she's never seen before, because my last 30 days we were going to be hauling to events, and instead she was sitting at a vet clinic. So we don't have all that experience that other horses are going to have. I just want to feel her feeling right. Even if she's in the wrong lead and kind of playful, she's yielding to my hands. It's gonna get a little more intense. I just can't wait to be running her full time in the open, where I don't just have this one looming deadline where I can actually go take her and compete throughout the week. That will be a lot of pressure off of us both to just go run barrels instead of being prepared for this one event. 6 months, a year from now, this will look so finished and so clean. And my hope is that someone says, that horse is just a freak. And then everybody that has watched this journey will clap back and go, do you know how much time she spent on that first barrel to make that mare do that? That would be my goal. I think I'm gonna quit there because it's only gonna go.
But I like that you spend a little extra time.
Yeah, because it's coming apart.
I find it to be a really tricky situation, but also, what would the journey to the Juvenile be without all of these little hiccups? You guys have seen every single thing go up and down to the point that we just have no idea how it's gonna go. Now, would this be exciting to watch if it was just like good little milestones the whole way through? Probably not. And we always talk about the vlog gods doing too much, and they did too much in this whole series. But it's time to see what we can do. I'm not gonna take my exhibitions at the Juvenile at the BFA. I have no real reason for that other than I don't do as well when I go and pre-exhibition somewhere. I never have. I historically have never had my horses do better when I do that, and so I know that for a lot of trainers, getting their horses in the arena is definitely something that they want to do and something that is part of their routine. But for me, I tend to get in my own head once I feel the arena and feel where the barrels are at and feel the shortcomings, because you never make perfect runs. So we're all anticipating making a perfect run and then being disappointed. Perfect runs don't exist. I've maybe made one perfect run in my whole life, and I may never make another one. So we're anticipatory for this thing that's never gonna happen, and then we get really, really down about it. So instead of doing that to myself, I know the best way to trick my own brain is to go in cold turkey and be accountable for the shortcomings that I have had in training my horse. I know she's not perfect, but I can tell you this. This is one of the nicest athletes that I've ever had the pleasure of riding in my entire career. And I know that at 4 years old, and at 5 years old, and at 6 years old, and at 7 years old, there will be a whole group of people that say, I watched her on Journey to the Juvenile and I knew she was gonna be a really big deal. So I wanna judge every horse person, trainer, every person involved with all the 3-year-olds running this week. I wanna judge them so lightly, because this is a really, really hard process. We're asking a lot of ourselves, of our families, and of our equine athletes. And this, frankly, is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. In the futurity world, even if I wanted to turn out, I emailed to turn out of the BFA and was like, hey, I might have to turn out. There's no refunds, there's no horse change, there's no going back. I couldn't have replaced Flo Mello. I couldn't have put Boss Man in. I would just have had to sit in the stands and watch that whole show go by after 365 days of really, really hard work. Here we are. It's time for us to go make a run now.
started the tie-dye craze. Here we go, Flashy Nose, the horse. Who's ever heard of Fallon Taylor, champion of the world a couple of times? Oh, how about Baby Float? Here she comes, working. Winner's version is the sire of the Soul Mare. And imagine that. Here's one that she's going to have in a breeding program down the line. Fallon Taylor's on one that's out of Deercorn, a daughter of Genuine Strawfly. Fallon Taylor, champ of the world, still setting the standard, showing you fasting on the barrel pattern. How about a 16-896, 16-896?
This was a giant learning experience. The whole thing was learning as we go. I decided to take care of my business at home, and my kid wasn't feeling good all week. Various other reasons and I'm a little weird about taking exhibitions before I run. So I had the only Super Stakes horse that did not see the inside of the arena. She didn't go around the barrels in the arena. She didn't anything. So I think that that's a really cool thing. Had I thought that we were going to be the horse to be in the top 5, mind you, and my horse would have benefited from going to do an exhibition, and that would have been the thing to keep us, to make us half a second faster, I would have done it. But knowing that that wasn't going to be the thing that was going to help us this time, I decided to skip that and put in 3 times a day work at home, and I feel like that really, really helped. I think that this horse is going to end up being one of the most talented horses that I've ever rodeoed on or gone to the big barrel races on. And so for that, I am so excited. At this point in her career, Baby Flo wasn't even halter broke. So Lolo at this point in her career was just like mediocre, okay, lope the barrel pattern. Flobot, same thing. Like they were Mojo, just okay. Baby Flo, not even touched by humans. So for this horse to make a run in a rodeo performance type scenario, not come mentally unhooked. She's been off for 30 plus days, only 7 days of riding before I actually get to go to the Super Stakes. Never seen the inside of the arena and a crowd that was lit. This was a win for me. That, and in the grand scheme of things, I think that the journey to the Juvenile has been a really great perspective of kind of all or nothing. What I know is I made mistakes, and I also didn't prioritize this as the only thing in my life. I always split my goals up into health, wealth, love, and happiness, and nothing ever is going to stay in balance. So as I did Journey to the Juvenile, I've lost 18 pounds and prioritized my health. I have had some of the best months in my business, in business history for the last decade. That is so huge to me, my friends, my family, and our staff, that it's absolutely incredible. We've broken a record with how many new products that we've launched, and a record for how long that item has been on the ground before we've been able to turn it around, get it online, and get it out. I didn't train 1 barrel horse, I trained 4. That's a mistake. Not saying that every trainer can't do that, but for my schedule, I should have earmarked 1 horse and been like, this absolutely is the horse I'm going to take come hell or high water, and no matter ups, downs, left and rights, because what we've learned is every single scenario that you choose, if you try to have a safety net, and this goes for life in general, when you try to have a backup plan, that backup plan is going to end up having a backup plan, and you're just going to dribble backwards. You need to be shooting your goal straight down the barrel and have absolutely no backup plan, and that way you dedicate all of your energy to the one thing, because every single one of my horses came with its own challenges. Lomelo constantly having issues with little cuts and bruises and scrapes and whatever else, a thyroid issue, EPM, and then a pseudo heart attack. So every single horse had their own issue. If I had just narrowed the focus down to one and dealt with that one set of problems, I would have had bandwidth for a lot more training time, a lot better ideas when it comes to training, because remember, these things don't come with a recipe book. I don't just check the box of ran 1 mile, lifted 10 reps, whatever. Every single day when I wake up and I feel this horse, I have to understand how best I can communicate with her on that day. So sometimes it's wash, rinse, repeat, and sometimes it's let me take 3 steps back and really think about this scenario. And doing that 4 times over for this particular scenario was not my smartest move, and I don't recommend it. Now, training these horses and having them really solid and going really good, thinking about holding them back for their 5-year-old year, let's say, that was brilliant. They've all got a great start. I'm gonna turn them all out for the next 60 days so they can just go be horses. When I get back on them when we get home from the NFR, it's going to be fantastic. All of them are gonna feel fresh. They're gonna be renewed. They're gonna have a fresh outlook, and it's gonna be fantastic. But for this one goal for the Super Stakes, everything should have been narrowed down because I'm already so divided. The candle's already burning at both ends. So that was my lesson for next year when we do this again. And yes, I'm going to do this again. Do I have my full earmarked? No, because I have 4. I'm a firm believer that God gives you the same lesson over and over and over again until you learn it. So I can either take all this info, ingest it, and learn from it, or I can pretend that I'm Superwoman and that next year won't be just as complicated and I can make the same mistake over again. What I have to do is look through the 4 foals that I have for next year and earmark 1. What do I have on the roster? I have a gray Ivory James mare that I bought from the same people that I bought Flashy Doe from. I have a winner's version half-brother to Flashy Doe that I bought unbroke that is broken riding around. And I have 2 Baby Flow Stallion prospects. One by Epic Leader and one by Feel the Sting. My heart is pulling me one direction. I'm gonna let you guys help me make this decision as Journey to the Juvenile continues into beginner to winner series, where we're showing all of the behind the scenes of these horses being broke and ridden and kind of seeing who has the talent that pops up. But this is the tortoise and the hare, and I am going to have you guys check out all the babies, and we're gonna see which one I'm gonna earmark, and I'm gonna narrow the focus down to just one. And we're gonna really dedicate a lot of time to it. The other mistake I made was not feeling like her foundation was perfect. That's my fault, 100%. All horses are able to learn all these foundational things. So I'm gonna go backwards on Flashy Doe now. In preparation for some January futurities that I think she's gonna do amazing at, I'm gonna go back and I'm going to, 1, give her a giant break. She's gonna have a lot of days off, several weeks. 2, I'm gonna give her a better foundation where I'm on the precipice of like a really good foundation, but not quite there yet. I'm gonna really focus on that. I know that she'll run in a crowd, and futurities will be much easier to run at than the Super Stakes as far as crowd and distraction and all of those things. So I'm gonna work on just the little teeny tiny details. We're gonna go Bruce Lee. We're not gonna try to master 10,000 kicks. We're gonna try to master 1 kick 10,000 times. That always works for our favor. I just wanna say a huge thank you for all of you guys at home. I've wanted to quit 1,000 times. This would have been very easy to have in my personal life and nobody know what's going on, and me post on social media as if I'm just waiting for Lolo to get well, and I could have just done the social media sweep under the rug and shown cute little highlights of Flomello and cute little highlights of whatever in training and being like ready for, you know, their future, and been really elusive. But I did take this thing on head on. And you guys showing up at the event, I saw people walking by like, that's Flashy Doe. Like, seeing your support in person made me a better competitor. It made me step up to the plate and ride my horse really well. It made me really stay focused. And on the days that I absolutely wanted to quit, I showed up for you, which made me show up for myself. And I'm grateful for the push. So I hope that I can push back and tell you to go pursue that hard thing that you've been avoiding. Go look something dead in the eye that you have been skirting around in your life, whether it be financial or relational or whatever it may be, because now that I've done this thing that I did last night, my brain thinks everything in life is easier. I was worried about today. Today for us in business is a really tough day. It's a hard day. We've got to attack it. We haven't slept much. We're still riding from the adrenaline from yesterday. And today feels remarkably easy compared to last night at 7 p.m. At 7 p.m., at one point my stirrups were clacking. And I remember on Baby Flo, I had ridden her for like 100 days, but Baby Flo was an absolute freak of nature. She still is an absolute freak of nature athlete that just picked up everything so fast. And she was 5. She picked everything up so fast that I thought, well, running in a jackpot's the same as running anywhere else. So I ran her at the Denver Pro Rodeo, and I accidentally made the short round after 2 runs. And I realized how much louder it was going to be at Denver. And I remember sitting in the warm-up pen and my boots clicking the outside of the stirrups because my legs were shaking so bad. And I thought, man, this feels a lot like that because I don't know what this horse is going to do. And I'm just hoping that I'm a good enough jockey that when she inevitably gets distracted and goes off course, that I can just dial her right back in, like, come back to me, come back to me. And, I told myself, okay, I'm going to let you shake for about 10 seconds. You got to be self-aware here. Take a deep breath. There's 3 barrels. It's no big deal. And hundreds of thousands of people watch you on YouTube at home. It's just the same. There's only like 1,000 people here. Chill out, ride your horse, go in there and do well. And I feel like we did really well. We were 2nd off of placing and winning money. And when you say that, that sounds wild because a 2nd is just that much. So I am extremely excited to have this pressure off. I'm extremely excited to go to my local jackpot and be able to now run my horse. Her futurity year now begins. I can run her anywhere I want. I can go to pro rodeos. I can go to futurities. I can go to barrel races. I can go to an American qualifier. I can go to anything now. And that pressure being off, Alex was making breakfast and he was like, do you feel better today? And I was like, oh yeah, the pressure is off. And at the same time, my brain has been carrying this amount of pressure and now it kind of likes it. It kind of wants that pressure again, which is just weird how the brain works. If you're scared to do anything and you don't have a lot of self-respect for yourself, go do something that you would never do. Go do something that is really hard for you to do. It could be the most minuscule thing ever. One of my friends went to a pet store and asked to hold a snake because that was the thing that she was like, I don't think I could ever do that. And from there, like, it opened up a new level for her of every single thing she could do. So this is similar. I feel like I'm ready for this pressure again because we're ready to go get something. I can't wait to continue the beginner to winner journey. And I hope that you will get subscribed and join us for every single little part of this as the 2024 colts and the 2025 colts are already starting their journey. This is only the beginning.